Okay, welcome to the explanation of your 6-week challenge. Now, this challenge is mostly focused on weight loss. However, it can be a good way to ease your way into cleaning up your diet, having more energy, and even detox. Although this is not a detox guide per se, you can go a lot deeper into that in different ways. But let's get started. So, first of all, you'll notice 1.75 here. So you need to determine which guide you need based on your weight. So if you are between 150 pounds and 200 pounds, you would go for the 1.75 guide. If you were between 200 and 275, you would go for the 2.25 guide. Okay. If you were between 100 and 150, you'd go for the 1.25. So it's wherever you are and you're looking to go below that, this is your average standard. So if you're around 115 pounds, this would be your go-to because it falls within that 50-pound range. Okay? I think it goes all the way up to 275. But that's not incredibly important because of how you can measure your food. If you really want to go and get very meticulous with it, it would be important because you'd want to go by ounces. I usually recommend people just go by hand sizes. For your protein, you're going to have a palm size of protein per meal. For your fats, you're having a thumb size of protein per meal. And for your carbs and veggie, you're having a fist size per meal. If you want to measure them out, like I said, you can measure them out, but you certainly don't have to. Usually a lot of work for some people. Usually only a certain personality type likes to do that. What I like to remind people of is that even if you don't really measure out your food so much, just staying on this list in general, you should lose weight. Okay, I've seen that all the time. People just stay on the list. They really don't worry about any portion controls, and they still lose weight. By the way, our average weight loss for this, for the approximately 100 people that we put through this, was 12 pounds. But we had people routinely lose 20 pounds. The highest weight loss in 6 weeks was 36 pounds. So let's go through your proteins first. You got chicken breast, bison burger, venison. When it comes to turkey breast, you're doing lean turkey. Pork tenderloin. When it comes to ground beef, you're getting 96-4 protein to fat ratio. Any white fish, you want to avoid some of the fattier fishes like salmon. And the reason is just wait a little bit until after this. It's really it's not that those aren't healthy. They're very good for you. But in this case, we're just looking to lose a little bit of weight. So best to stick with the white fishes. Same with eggs. Okay, instead of having the yolk itself, you're going to get the egg whites. For that, you can go out and get the container of egg whites if you'd like. You can also just do them yourself, dump them out. When it comes to cottage cheese or Greek yogurt, you're getting the 0% fat cottage cheese and Greek yogurt. Okay. Protein powder, we'll go over different types of protein powders later. But 1.5 scoops of protein powder, it's just important that it is around 20 grams of protein and you're trying to get less than a gram of sugar. It can be a little bit above that, but you really don't want too much sugar in your protein shake. Okay. When it comes to your fats, you have most of the fats here that you would normally have. You're getting rid of vegetable oils, canola oils. Really, I would recommend getting rid of any seed oils, generally very inflammatory. So you're looking for your olive oils, grass-fed butter. If you're going to get butter, definitely get grass-fed. Coconut oils, almond butter, peanut butter, those are okay. Avocado is definitely okay. Avocado oil is great. You could even use something like ghee. So 1 cup or a 1/4 cup of any nuts. So you can use nuts as well just to eat. And that's pretty much it. So pretty straightforward with the fats. When it comes to your carbs, you're basically able to have most things. You're getting rid of pasta and bread, essentially. For most people, that's what it's going to come out to. For bread, you can go and get Ezekiel bread. The reason Ezekiel bread is a little bit better is it's sprouted wheat bread. So because the wheat has already sprouted, it's going to give you a higher nutritional composition. And then I believe it's a little bit higher protein as well. Certainly a little bit less of the sugar in there and more fiber. So there's a lot of things that are good about Ezekiel bread. It's in the frozen aisle of the food department. You're able to have rolled oats. You're able to have rice, beans, potatoes, sweet potatoes, red potatoes. When it comes to fruit, there's a whole section on fruit that we'll talk about. If you can stick with like your apples and your berries, things along those lines, they're a lot lower in sugar content, so you can have a lot more of them. You feel a lot more filled up. It's preferable. But you're going to get rid of your pastas for now. Maybe there could be some exceptions here and there, but you got to be really smart about it. And so just try to stick with this. Only 6 weeks. Stick with this. All right, when it comes to veggies, funny how it's written out here, but you're having 1 cup of veggies except for these things. Because these things, peas, carrots, corn, squash, zucchini, eggplant, pumpkins, beets, these are really fruits or biologically fruits or roots. And you're just going to do without these. Again, very healthy for you, very good. But for this 6 weeks, try to do without them. They have, again, a higher sugar content, most of them. And we're looking for the green vegetables that are really going to have good fiber, have good nutrition content, and not have as high a sugar content. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. Stick with the green vegetables. There will be a list on the next page. Okay, now, I've seen people who take this method for their food combining and for their meal prep do a really good job with this. Okay, so they have they get a really good result by doing this. Okay, again, you can do this in different levels, different degrees. You can just stick to the list of foods. You're still going to lose weight. You can stick to the list of foods and do some of the different portions controls. That's great. You can do this food combining map. And if you want to, I would really encourage you to skip any snacks between meals. I think that's a really big one. And we'll talk about that in a second. So this is the meal combo or the food combo that seems to work best for people. For breakfast, you're going to have a portion of protein, a portion of vegetables, and a carb. Okay? So that's for your breakfast. When you get to a snack in between breakfast and lunch, you're going to have a protein shake. Having a higher protein is going to balance your blood sugar. You're not going to feel so up and down. You're not going to have that desire to go get more stuff because it's going to help you feel a little bit more balanced. So you're going to skip snacks. Lunch, you're going to do the same thing. We're talking vegetable, protein, and a carb. So we have the examples down here. Then same thing. If you want another snack, it's going to be another protein shake. Dinner time, you're going to switch it up. You're going to drop the carb, and you're going to add the fat. Okay, the fat is going to help you sleep a little bit better, make you a little bit more comfortable at night, help you recover a little bit better, and you're not going to have the high sugar content from the carbs at nighttime as you digest. Okay? All right, so that's that. This is a grocery helper. It's really, if you've been to a grocery store before, it's not going to blow your mind. The idea is that if you are buying these things to have them once a day, that this should last you about a week, right? If you bought 3 pounds of chicken breast and you had 1 meal a day for your protein, it should last you about a week based off your size and weight. That's the idea there. Of course, some of these things don't really apply. If you buy a bottle of olive oil, it's going to last you a long time. But in general, that's what you're looking for. Okay? All right. When we get to condiments and we get to drinks, really anything that has 0 carb is fine. Okay, so your mustard, soy sauces, spices, lemon juice, balsamic vinegars, etc., etc. Stevia is fine. Splenda, I'm not a big fan of, just the artificial side of it, but as far as weight loss goes, it's fine. And then same with drinks. As long as it has 0 calorie, you are good to go. Okay? If it's not on the list, just don't have it for 6 weeks. Okay? Try to eliminate first, and then you can moderate, bring some things back if you want to. All right. Now, after that, and this has a little bit of it, after that there's going to be a guide, there's going to be a recipe book and a few other guides and FAQs. So we're going to jump over to that. I actually have it on a separate one as well. There we go. So the first part of this, if you want to print out a plan and you want to be able to take down notes on what you're eating, you can do that. I forgot to mention for water, drink a lot of water. As long as you're exercising 3 times a week, you are staying on this food list, and you are drinking water, those 3 things, you're definitely going to lose weight. So for water, you're looking for to drink about half your body weight in ounces. So for me, I'm 180 pounds. I'd be drinking about 90 ounces of water. It's going to come out to about 3 liters of water is what I'm looking for. 3 of those mason jars a day, you should be fine. If I felt like going a little bit over, because sometimes I practice a lot, I teach a lot, I'll just aim to drink about 1 gallon. Sometimes summer months or deep in the winter when it's very dry, I'll drink even more. But that can also depend on how much minerals you're taking. If you're drinking electrolytes and things like that, it can hold on to the water better. But in general, if you have trouble drinking water, I would see about how much water you need to drink, and I would get either a large gallon jug that you drink throughout the day, or maybe it's a half gallon and you drink 2 of them, or you get 2 or 3 of those mason jars and you just make sure you go through them or fill them up 3 times a day. Some type of way to mark what you're doing, okay? So this is your 6 weeks planned out. If you want to plan it out, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you can write it all in there, okay? Official 6-week recipe book. Now, what you will notice in the 6 weeks, it has everything color-coded, which is nice. What you'll notice in the 6 weeks is there's some things in there, or in this recipe book, there are some things in there that are not on the list. For example, you'll have, not sure if I can find it in here, but pico de gallo, that's going to be salsa, right? So that's going to put some tomatoes in there. So this is not super strict. You have a little bit I've noticed there's some garlic in here when we first made this. So that's okay. You'll go a little bit off the list, but it'll be in small amounts, a little bit of garlic here, a little bit of onion there. So just keep that in mind. That not a big deal. Just keep those things small, okay? All right, let's go all the way down to next portion. Okay, right, and there's some drinks, some smoothies, etc. Okay? Definitely use some probiotics like sauerkraut, kimchi. Those things are great. Miso paste. Those things will help with weight loss and just really good for your gut. Okay, talking about fruit. In general, you want to stay away from the really sugary fruits right now. There are times when fruits are amazing for you. When you're trying to lose weight and have just a regular balanced diet, you don't want to go too crazy on it. Watermelon and bananas, super high sugary fruits, you're going to want to skip. Oranges are okay. Grapefruits, apples, berries, things like that, those are great. This is a 90-minute meal prep hack. If you're an adult and you've lived a little bit, this isn't going to blow your mind. It's basically how to bake food, okay? But we have it in there for you. All right, restaurant ordering system. This is just to give you some guidelines to think, or at least for yourself a little bit to think, oh, I can't go out with my friends to a restaurant. You can. Go on out. You just have to order these things separately. Look at the menu. See, oh, they have chicken. All right, let's ask them if they can grill it. They have this carb. Let's ask if they can do it without the oil. You want to be ordering in a very specific way to yourself. Don't worry about offending anybody. Don't worry about being weird. They don't care. Do what you need to do for yourself. It's essentially what we're talking about here. Same with traveling, a little travel guide, same type of thing, things that you can bring with you, some travel tips and tricks. Habit forming, if you have a little bit of a struggle creating a habit, this is based off of creating small habits as you go. So you can print this out as well. Sometimes it's helpful to have it visually. And then we just have a little FAQ here. So this is some quick questions about some questions that you might have about the program itself. Okay, you can take a look at these. Okay. All right, that's the whole thing. So figure out which weight you are, figure out which food list you need, and then you can come back in here to the food guide. So we'll have 2 different lists up. We'll have the different first couple pages, which is your actual food list and your grocery guide. And then after that, we will have the food guide itself, which has everything else in it, all the FAQs and the different tips and tricks. Shoot me a message if you have any questions, and good luck. I know you're going to get a really good result. As long as you stay on this, it definitely works. See you in the next lesson.